Finally, One Piece episode 1140 has arrived, where we get to know Bonnie turns Kuma's clones against the Marines, Luffy's back in Gear 5th Wrecking Shop, and the giant warrior pirates crash the party, but Saturn stabs Vegapunk. Watch till the end to find out if the old man survives. The episode starts where the last one ended, with the destruction of Egghead in full swing. The explosions are so intense, so big, that even ships far away can see it, including a new, massive ship that's just now getting close to the Marine blockade. Yeah, that's gotta be the one that wrecked Saturn's refugee hunting ship. Back on the island by the food machine, Luffy has had enough rest. He's done taking in all that food, and he sheds his massive body fat in just a second. The Marines are shocked by how fast he was able to digest it all. One even suggests that Luffy might gobble them up if they get any closer, and he might be onto something. Between Big Mom and Kaido, eating people might just be some sort of Yonko tradition. A cannon blast hits right by the Marines, knocking a member of their squad off his feet. The whole area is almost entirely engulfed in fire thanks to the Buster Call. They need to evacuate, but they've also got to do something with Luffy. They've got one of the most wanted pirates in the world right at their mercy. One Marine tells the others to get this Emperor into sea stone cuffs to make sure he's not a threat, but Luffy is smiling. His hair's changing. He's already back into Gear 5th. As expected, these guys do not have a chance. He blows them away before they can even get close. A full Luffy is a dangerous Luffy. Our boy is back in the game. Meanwhile, the artillery commander is ordering his men to keep firing into the blaze, not stopping until the island is literally broken apart. As Bonnie, Kuma, Frankie, and Atlas are falling through the air after Kizaru wrecked their escape rocket, Vegapunk is trying to process this, but he decides to do something. Using his communicator, Vegapunk calls Atlas. She's still in the air, right by Bonnie and the rest. Saturn tells the pacifistas to fire, and they keep charging their lasers, but the call gets through. Vegapunk feared this moment, the idea that Bonnie, as a pirate, would one day be killed by a pacifista, a clone of her own father. The thought gave him nightmares. It was a cruel, dark joke that he couldn't just let happen. He couldn't openly go against the deal Kuma struck with Saturn, but he snuck one last trick into his work. He risked his life and put a secret program in all the pacifistas based on Kuma. Vegapunk wants Atlas to tell Bonnie a secret that only the Vegapunks know. Sanji, seeing them fall, jumped into the air, trying to do something to help. Atlas reaches Bonnie and tells her the truth. Between the rush of air and the never-ending explosions, no one else could hear what was said. But Bonnie is obviously shocked at this news. She just looks at Atlas, not sure if she can even believe it. So Bonnie yells at them. She calls out to all these copies of her dad, like they're the original, asking him not to shoot. "Daddy, stop! Help us to escape from here!" she cries out. Bonnie looks down, hoping as hard as she can that this crazy idea actually worked. The pacifistas don't seem to be listening, just standing there impassively, the light glowing in their hand. The watching Marines can't work out what she's even said over the explosions. But no, the giant cyborgs turn around, pointing their palms right at their Marine allies. It took them a minute to process the order, but they heard Bonnie just fine. Thanks to Bonnie's voice, all pacifistas turn on the Marine. This was a cool twist. Vegapunk put Bonnie on top of the pacifistas' authority hierarchy. She's even above the Gorose's authority. As Vegapunk says, even if the world is your enemy, your father will never betray you. This could mean Bonnie is also able to command the Seraphim, since they use a similar command hierarchy. With 4 of them in the basement, the Straw Hats may have some powerful allies waiting. The ground troops are already trembling in fear. All the pacifistas are following this order, even the ones far away. They've clearly got some kind of internal communication system. Bonnie just got an army of her own. This is a massive L for the Marines and the world government. Their attempts to contain Egghead are in shambles, almost entirely because of Vegapunk's betrayal. Saturn, realizing what Vegapunk did, is filled with pure fury, and he immediately stabs Vegapunk with his sharp demonic leg, running the defenseless man completely through. Man, this looks like a fatal wound. The philanthropist who gave the world government so much might just die because one of its leaders threw a temper tantrum. Vegapunk sputters, gasping for breath. Bonnie screams, shocked at what just happened to one of her father's closest friends. Frankie curses as his idol's body hits the floor, too far away to do anything. Saturn does not show a single inch of upset or guilt at killing the world's greatest scientist. It was about time. Saturn's been talking about killing Vegapunk this whole arc, and he finally did it. Is Vegapunk gonna die now? Getting stabbed in One Piece usually doesn't mean much, unless it's a flashback, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does die here. all his knowledge is in Punk records and Atlas is still around. A fuming Saturn then orders Kizaru to eliminate the group in the air, to kill all of them immediately. Kizaru, no longer hanging around, blitzes the fighters in the sky with light beam. Sanji and Frankie both take hits, covered in blood. Sanji blocks one of the beams, but is finally pierced by Kizaru too. Oh boy, the agenda piece is going to go wild with this one. It seems like in the hardcore fandom, Kizaru is more beloved than Sanji, which is honestly the way it should be. It's still showing that Sanji should be struggling against characters of Kizaru's stature. I'd love to see them go one-on-one, but it's not time for that yet. The Admiral gets close, a light sword in hand. He brings it up over his head with a two-handed grip, planning on a massive blow. Even while he prepares to kill his former friends, Kizaru tries to apologize, saying that he will kill the pair, Kuma and Bonnie, together with one shot, and it won't hurt. They'll be together in death. Bonnie is not going to thank him for that. But before Kizaru can land the attack, he hears a very familiar laugh. Before the Admiral can even turn around, Luffy comes in with a sneak attack from behind. A Gear 5 supersized, haki-infused punch is enough to knock Kizaru out of the air and stop the attack for now. Bonnie is bewildered at the sudden attack. As Luffy's hand starts stretching back to his body, Luffy is here now, still laughing and at full power. He then turns the ground to rubber with his awakened fruit powers, saving everyone who was falling. They touch down safely, Kuma cushioning Bonnie's fall. The drums of liberation are echoing over Egghead. It is time for some fun. Saturn stares at Luffy in silence, shook. He's shook because Luffy is the second coming of their Antichrist, Nika. I was hoping for some commentary here from Saturn about Nika, but I guess not yet. We see Kizaru sitting on the ground, holding his head after being punched by Luffy. Seems he's fine. Yeah, Luffy is probably stronger than Kizaru, but Kizaru is still strong, guys. Bonnie rushes to old Vegapunk's side, urging him to get up. We're going to die if we stay here. The old man has lost a lot of blood. Meanwhile, out in the scrapyard, the sound of the drums reaches the giant robot, and now its eyes are fully lit, and its motors are starting to hum. There is no question now. This ancient thing is awake, back on the battlefield. Bonnie just realized what that rhythm means. She thinks back to her conversations with Kuma about Nika, the times they danced together to that same beat, the Sun God's beat. Bonnie is silent, just looking into the sky. Vegapunk, tired and in pain, manages to confirm what she's seeing. So, you haven't realized, but I also wouldn't have believed it before witnessing it with my own eyes. That Straw Hat Luffy, the one that had Kuma's attention, turns out to be Sun God Nika himself. Bonnie is speechless. What? Vegapunk continues. Kuma was right. Buster Call? What good will that do? There are people in this world who have waited centuries for him. A Buster Call is a trivial matter to someone like Nika, and it is time for some of the Sun God's allies to show up. Cut to the northeast coast of Egghead Island. The Marines report that an unbelievably large ship is approaching. They recognize the Jolly Roger, most likely from history class, because they thought this crew had died 100 years ago. But here they are. The ship is not slowing down. It is plowing right towards the Marine warships, ready to just smash them to bits through sheer bulk. A panicking Marine commander orders his men to fire on the newcomers. But what could cannonballs hope to do against the giant warrior pirates? That's right, it's co-captains Dory and Brogy, and they are here to pick up Straw Hat Luffy. The Marines are yelling, "Fire, darn it! Why are the giant warrior pirates here?" And the giants give the best response. Brogy says, "Look at them, Dory." They're asking, "Why are we here?" And Dory replies, "What a stupid question. There's no coincidence in this world, right, Brogy?" Brogy then yells, "We're here for you, Straw Hat." And Dory finishes, "The Sun God." Oh my goodness, what a satisfying hype episode of One Piece. Every Buster Call has always included friendly giants. Between the pacifistas and the giants, the Marines are running out of ships for this Buster Call. And how did they know? Remember, the last time we saw them after Shanks took out Kid, Dorian and Brogy hit him with the layup and took out the rest of the Kid pirates. Mad that Kid even threatened to attack Elbaf in the first place. After that, they must have talked to Shanks, and Shanks was probably like, "Yeah, Luffy?" He awakened his devil fruit. He's Nika now. And they were like, "Nika? We all know him." Before, no one knew Nika. Now, everybody does. Joy Boy was probably a giant or a buccaneer, so it's understandable that the giants know him, but still, they could have realized it back on Little Garden. Oh, that rubbery quality is just like Nika's fruit, but I guess they needed the awakening confirmation. And now, this is going to be the bridge to Elbaf, the next big arc. We're gonna see Loki, the prince of Elbaf. Saul is probably there. the man marked by flames who can lead them to the final road Poneglyph. This is the final saga, people, and what a power-up for the Straw Hats. An army of giants, countless Buccaneer clones, and the legendary giant robot Egghead has just been one big power-up. But the biggest problem right now is still Vegapunk. Luffy promised Sentomaru he'd get the old man off the island. Now that he's so badly injured, it's going to be more difficult than ever. That's episode 1140, Bonnie's Commanding Clones, Luffy's Gear 5th, and the Giants' arrival are pure fire, but Vegapunk's down bad. If this recap got you amped, smash that like button and comment 1141 below to spread it to more One Piece fans. It'll get the next one out quick. Subscribe to keep the hype alive, and I'll catch you next time.